Workaholics, which originally aired on April 6, 2011, is one of those cult classic TV shows that you had to be a part of the zeitgeist at the time to really truly appreciate just how funny it was. This show follows three friends who all graduated from the same college and they all work at the same corporate office at TeleAmericorps.
I'm gonna eat your balls for breakfast tomorrow with my grape nuts. Then I'm gonna murder you. Then I'm gonna fire you.
Well, let me just say, these are three of the most unintelligent characters you're gonna come across on TV, but the brilliant part is that they make it work. And they do this by periodically giving these absolute idiots moments to shine, moments of brilliance. They're all actually kind of like sociopaths in a way, but not so much because they are good-hearted people.
The thing about Durs is, he's supposed to die tonight.
No, they are sociopaths, actually. My name's Topher Leon, Broncos Country, let's ride. Now, this episode specifically might actually be the craziest episode I've ever seen in television history, considering the context and the content of it.
Dude, we had an experiment. I was conducting my own experiment. Look, check it out.
And the craziest part about this whole episode might be that Chris D'Elia, the person that plays Topher, ended up getting busted for essentially the exact same thing this episode talks about, which then led to this episode getting banned. The only way you can ever see it is right here. So the episode starts off with Anders riding around on his tricycle doing his neighborhood watch thing, and he spots someone trying to break into a house across the street, and he immediately calls the cops, feeling like he's an absolute champion, like he's just the Batman, the Dark Knight of the neighborhood, only to realize that it's their good friend and drug dealer, Carl.
What I do to you, Durs? You know, we're more alike than you even know, man. This is not Noah!
Who's played by Kyle Newacek, as I mentioned before, the writer of the show. This guy does not get enough credit, but this is exactly what sets up the entire episode, as they no longer have access to Tree and have to figure out a way to get more.
Blake's friend and my weed dealer, Carl. And where am I supposed to buy my weed from, huh? Because I'm not gonna get my ass kicked by that high school kid again.
And what makes this scene so much funnier looking back is that Carl and Anders have such a rivalry, or actually, let me just say, Anders hates this guy.
Because your fingernails are gross.
Oh, he is absolutely right.
So then the next day they're at work discussing the whole ordeal, and while that's going down, there is a Justin Bieber fan site on Blake's computer, which he's a huge believer, which is, again, thinking back, this is 2011. This is when Justin Bieber was really starting to peak. And it's because of a certain genital that's on the screen that gets their attention, and at that same time, Jillian, their friend, walks up and they start to talk about a predator, just someone who's been on that website harassing people. Then one thing leads to another, and then they decide to set the guy up.
I'm gonna rip this guy's heart out and just take the heart and suck on a cockle. I'm sweating right now. Why am I sweating so badly?
Now, long story short, this guy on this Justin Bieber website is a predator that sends certain pictures to pretty much everybody on that website, and it's just disgusting. And you get the point. No need to say anymore. Bieberhole69, who we find out is Topher, no relation to me, shows them a potato gun, an Xbox 360, a case of beer, and then obviously that massive bag of nugs that he has. So then they invite him up on their roof. They're having some beers, they're smoking, and they decide that, okay, no matter how cool he is, they have to take him down. It doesn't matter. They're taking him down right now.
Not forget why he came here. To butt ram a boy.
And just as that happens, Topher comes back from peeing off the roof during midday. Think about that, by the way. His ding dong just hanging out there, which again makes sense. He offers to take them to Club Damnation, which is one of the coolest clubs in town in Rancho Cucamonga, California. So they immediately all look at each other and go get dressed. Drink your water. Once they're at Club Damnation, Topher immediately brings over these just banging girls who are all over him, and he offers them up, says, hey, they're interested in you. They start conversing, and Topher looks over, winks, and says,
I told them that you guys were coke dealers, and all three of them have really bad coke problems.
To which then immediately the girls grab their phones, they put their phone numbers in it, and the guys start going crazy, and it's just so funny, dude.
This is my life! Yeah! This is my life!
And as the scene continues, they're around a table, they have all the girls on their laps, and then Topher slips up and says,
we went to middle schools together.
Wait, schools?
And then Blake calls him out as Bieberhole69, and that's when the episode turns. He immediately asks the girls to step away, and they have this ridiculous conversation about just how,
What if you just had sex with men that were of legal age?
That's a great idea.
I'm not gay, dude.
Okay, I don't know.
You're offending me.
he's being persecuted for his beliefs and his desires while they're telling him, you're so cool. What are you doing, man? You could just have any woman you want.
You're a swagger hound.
Now you would think this is where they call him out, they get him arrested, and the show ends, right? But instead, right before they're about to do it, he then offers to take them to the penthouse where all those girls live, where it's a place where you can do whatever you want and pee on the floor.
I mean, who wouldn't want to go to the penthouse? You can pee on the floor.
And then the following day, they run into Jillian at the office in the break room, and she asks them, how did it go? Did you bust him? And they're like, oh yeah, we choked him out. We got hit. It was crazy. Pretty much just lying through their teeth, and she believes it. And just as she asks what he looked like and they start to describe him, he immediately walks through the door, and Adam has to change what he's saying and how he's describing him as he's walking up.
He had long blonde dreadlocks.
And the best part has to be that he says,
Hey, what up? I'm Topher. I'm friends with the guys now.
so just as they agreed at the club, they're going to take Topher to a local gymnasium to look at girls doing gymnastics because they're little. They look like the type of people he's into. I don't even want to say it. And the scene just falls apart when they try and introduce him to someone. And as they're about to introduce him, he ends up in the boys' locker room with underwear. And then they come out and they just call him just a weirdo, a freak. And then again, he holds the penthouse against them and he throws the underwear and they have to go get it. It's just ridiculous. And this is where I had kind of a eureka moment thinking about how in Hollywood, there's probably so many people that are interacting with other people who they know are doing this terrible, just nefarious, disgusting deed, but they don't say anything because they know that person is the gatekeeper to getting what they want. This episode, they include Justin Bieber in it, who we know was in weird situations with
Locked in.
This whole episode might be a massive analogy and metaphor by these writers that we just had no idea would unfold till today. Then they head back to the guy's house and are just hanging out, and Topher oddly asks to use their computer, which they don't even think twice about. He hops on the computer and then they get a call from Jillian. And in the most ridiculous sequence of events, she notices that he's in their house and then that they're right behind him. And that's when this episode goes even more bonkers. He starts to run, the cops show up, then they end up running in different directions, screwing up each other's efforts to try and capture him. It's all about this show making them very intelligent when they have to be. And this moment where Adam, where he knows he has to clean up all the drugs in their place or they're going to get arrested by the police who are coming.
Are you gonna help me? Just
If I don't put away our drug stuff, we're gonna go to prison along with Topher.
All right, good call.
And it's those moments of intelligence that build the credibility that just don't make us think they're idiots and look down on them. And finally, the episode concludes with the cops apprehending Topher. Jillian has this hilarious moment where she gets super tough, screaming at Topher through the window. She comes over, they reconcile. She recognizes just how insanely hard it is to say no to go to the penthouse. And then that's it. That's the conclusion of this episode. This has to be, again, one of the most ridiculous episodes of any television I've ever watched, considering the subject matter. And it makes me wonder if this could even air on television today. It's just kind of ridiculous, but it's also very eye-opening. It's a great metaphor for what is happening and what people will allow to go on around them as long as they're going to be able to get what they want. All right, this was my first video of this style. Let me know if you like this, what could be improved, what you thought. Let me know what you thought of this episode, how wild you thought it was. Have you seen this? Do you remember watching this? And for those of you who really love this show and had it on Blu-ray or DVD, you remember falling asleep to this show and then waking up to the menu music, which was just horrifying. And as always, go out there and do something great. I mean, at least try. Not everyone's capable, but try at least.